What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Stock of the Week. I'm Nolan, and today I'm going to be telling you why I just bought some Lam Research stock. And guys, I'm really excited about this company because not only do I have my highest equity in the stock, but as of this week, this is my biggest returning stock overall in my whole portfolio. And I know I said that about ASML 2 weeks ago, but the game has changed with Lam Research. Let me tell you why. Okay guys, let's start by talking about the semiconductor industry. So if you've tried to buy a PlayStation 5 from Sony recently, then you've realized that they're really hard to get a hold of right now. Or maybe you've heard about the production delays that's hitting automobile manufacturers worldwide. And guys, it's no mystery what's going on. We're in the middle of a global semiconductor shortage. The reason for this global crisis or this global shortage of semiconductors has a lot of different factors. There are political reasons, the pandemic, there are economic cycles, and then there's also a lot of fires right now at key Japanese facilities. And some of these issues are going to be able to be fixed in the short term, and then a lot of them are going to take a lot longer to pan out. But I think we have a great opportunity for Lam Research right now because our need for semiconductors grows every single year in our developing societies around the world. And I think that all these factors are coming together, and there's some tailwinds that are coming behind Lam Research to propel them forward into the industry. And so I really think that this is a special moment, a perfect time to get in on Lam Research because I think that the company is set to grow even beyond where they're already at. So what does Lam Research actually do? I mean, I know they're in the semiconductor industry, but what is it that Lam Research does that sets them apart? So Lam Research, guys, specializes in two different aspects of creating semiconductors: etching and deposition. Etching and deposition. And I'm not gonna go into too much detail when it comes to describing exactly like how they do this, but I will give you just a brief overview of kind of how they make these semiconductors. Okay guys, so the way that modern semiconductors are created is a three-step process. So first of all, what they will do is they'll go down and lay down an impossibly thin layer of conducting and insulating material. This is what is called deposition. Then they'll go in and they'll trace out a pattern on that surface, and I'm talking about very thin surface. When they trace out that pattern, that's called lithography, and there's a company that specializes in that. It's called ASML Holding, and it's actually the company that I recommended 2 weeks ago. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to it here in the video. And then the final step, guys, is that they'll go in and they'll etch out where they traced before in the lithography, and then they'll add in the features that they want there. But then they repeat the whole process over again. They'll lay down another layer on top of that, they'll pattern it out, and then they'll etch it. And they'll do this sometimes up to 100 different times. And guys, this is a very super complicated process. We're talking about atomic level precision here, and Lam Research is one of the leaders at it. Now guys, Lam Research is not without its competitors, but we're talking about a very specialized field here where you don't have a whole lot of competition. Their number one competitor is Applied Materials. Applied Materials works with both etching and deposition, and then on top of that there's a smaller company, or to a smaller extent Tokyo Electron competes with them, but they only work with etching. And then there's a bunch of smaller companies. Most of them are focused on specialized forms of deposition. All in all, in 2019, Lam Research held 14.2% of the market share in the industry, and that includes all the different aspects of creating these semiconductors. Lam Research is number 4, guys. It's the number 4 company in the world when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing. And guys, Lam Research isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and that's because the world is dependent on semiconductors, increasingly so actually. And there aren't any big disruptors on the horizon. There's nothing that's going to replace etching and deposition. It's just going to continue. And I know that Lam Research does have to continue to improve their processes, but really the amount of competition is at a minimal. I mean, just look at Lam's high gross margins, which are consistently above 45%. And even more impressively, look at their operating margins, which were 29% over the last year. I mean, Lam doesn't even have to advertise itself. Think about that. As our need for semiconductors increases as a society, Lam Research is just going to continue to climb. And on top of that, I think they have some key opportunities to gain even more market share in the semiconductor manufacturing industry. Okay guys, before we go on, I need you to do me a big favor and hit that like button to support the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. Alright, let's look at why I am personally excited about Lam's future. Okay guys, so here's the thing. Lam Research announced about a year ago that they're about to release a new technology which they're calling a breakthrough in the industry. And guys, this technology is going to work with ASML's new ultraviolet or extreme ultraviolet lithography technology, or EUV. Now, this technology is what they're calling a new dry resist technology, and it's going to allow them to have a whole lot better resolution in their etching and deposition. And guys, the thing about this is that it's going to allow them to produce more semiconductors and for a cheaper price. And guys, this technology is going to be working on 7 nanometer, 5 nanometer, and eventually even 3 nanometer semiconductors. These are going to be the chips that are powering our most powerful CPU and GPUs around the world. And guys, that's not all. Lam Research just announced their new Sense-I technology, which is a product that allows for better or greater etch density, greater process control, and smart calibration. The company is calling it the most innovative etch product that's been created in the last 20 years. And finally guys, Lam just announced earlier this year their new Vantex technology, which applies the Sense-I technology to memory chips, which is looking to be a huge breakout in 2021. So why should you buy Lam Research right now? Why did I buy Lam Research? First of all guys, because of all these new technologies that are going to be rolling out that we just discussed. Also, there's a whole lot of demand right now, like crazy amount of demand for personal computing, for performance computing, for the new 5G networks that are going up all over the world. Another reason, guys, that you should buy right now is because Taiwan Semiconductor, which is one of Lam's biggest customers, just announced in January that they're about to spend over $25 billion in expanding their semiconductor manufacturing business. President Biden just pledged $37 billion when it comes to building up the US's semiconductor manufacturing. And he has bipartisan support as he tries to bring the US to a point where we are independent of Taiwan when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing. Okay guys, those are just a few reasons why I just bought some Lam Research stock. I'm going to be looking to this company over the next few years to see some returns as the global demand for semiconductors just continues to increase year over year. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider leaving a like. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, join our community of investors. But anyway guys, y'all have an awesome week and I'll see you next time.